Hi, and welcome back to the Interdisciplinary Studies channel and to this first segment of Soul Food for Current Events. This is about subject matter I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and in fact, I have on another channel, but I it's heavy. It's heavy in my heart today, and I honestly wish I didn't feel the need to make this video today, but it's really something we need to be talking about. So we're going to talk about this this cancel culture that we're seeing right now, and I do this because we've heard the phrase cancel culture for a long time, and it has been primarily used um, to shut down people that are asking questions and wanting to discuss um, what they're finding outside of any mainstream narrative. That is where we have found cancel culture since, I guess you could say, since the term was coined for conspiracy theorists um, after JFK. And I don't want to say that word that comes after that because it's really heavy. Um, but the thing of it is that was all illusion based. And that's what we're going to get into today. So the cancel culture that we have known from the past is all illusion based. It was based on talking heads telling you, don't listen to them. They're bad people. And if you listen to them, you are now bad. So it was all psychological. We have been dealing with narcissism on a global scale. And anyone that has experienced narcissism on an individual or in a group setting has been able to recognize that this is what it is. Telling people, don't listen to them. A narcissist in a group setting is going to want to control the narrative, and they do it with illusions. The moment that someone starts poking and prodding and looking for the truth, the illusion is destroyed. And that's what makes the truth seeker very dangerous to a narcissist. And so one of the things that they do to shut that down is to shut down the truth teller by telling all of their flying monkeys and telling all of their flying monkeys, listen, don't listen to them, don't listen to anything they say, and if you listen to them, you are bad also, and you will also be exiled. And with uh, those that aren't strong, um, people they value fitting in more than they value doing what's right. And so they will scramble to make sure that they're not the one that's exiled. And even if they don't necessarily agree with the reason why the truth teller is being exiled, they will do their part to exile that person out of fear of not fitting in. And that's what's brought us here today. So if you don't know anything about how narcissism works, and this is just a discussion, okay? I'm not a psychologist. I did go to school for psychology. I am absolutely autistically fascinated with human behavior. And that's what I'm speaking from today. So, what I have experienced and what I have been diligently paying attention to for a very long time is the way that the narcissism works. Like I said, it's all based on illusion. But something you might not know is so you have a narcissist, and we're going to think about like a family individual setting now. You have a narcissist, and they spawn um, three different character types. Well, four, I guess. Well, three that could turn into the narcissist later. Okay, so they have the golden child, the flying monkeys, and the scapegoat. Scapegoat is very important. The scapegoat takes all of the hits. But the golden child, so now on a global scale, the golden child would be like, oh my gosh, what is her name? Greta Thunberg. Okay, so Greta Thunberg is a great example of a golden child. She did nothing for merit. Everything was handed to her, literally like scripts handed to her, flying her to where she needs to be, funding, massive funding, all of the opportunity to be seen in media is all just handed to her. It's all based on illusion. The golden child in this scenario, when it comes to global psychological operations, is not somebody that is creating something, not somebody that is creating abundance or creating something helpful. They are destroying. Okay, they're shaming and destroying. Okay, the shaming is really important for the illusions, right? Don't talk to them; they're bad, right? Um, so that's an easy one to see, the golden child. The flying monkeys, however, is what we're dealing with right now. Okay? The flying monkeys are the people that feel like they are going to gain social favor by complying. It is very disturbing to see how many of them are existing at this moment. But there is a true fear of being exiled from their community. And so when you can't stand on your own, when you are not strong in your own ideals, you will comply for the sake of fitting in. And it is a human situation. You don't want to be exiled from society, right? So that's what that is. Um, and that's what we're dealing with right now. And that's the bulk of what I want to talk about. So I know, I know that it feels uncomfortable and gross to shame people. It feels uncomfortable and gross to have to hold someone accountable. So, so the golden child, the flying monkey, but then there's the scapegoat. What are the scapegoats? The scapegoats are the ones that are constantly being blamed. They don't automatically fall in line. And so every time the narcissist is about to be discovered, they blame it on the scapegoat. The scapegoat is the one that gets abused, the one that is told to be quiet. Um, and eventually, if the scapegoat is able to continue to grow as a person, they will become the truth teller. Normally, the scapegoat is crafted when the narcissist sees that that person is able to see past the illusions. When they see that you can see past the illusions, they have to condemn you so that the illusion is not seen by others. That's where we're at right now. So those of us, the really interesting thing is I've been paying attention to all of this for decades, but I didn't have anyone to talk to about the things that I could see before because we were so heavily shamed into silence. Even if you weren't silent, you had nowhere to talk about it because everybody else was shamed into silence. So what's really fascinating in this time right now is that the amount of truth tellers in our society has multiplied so significantly over the handful of just the last handful of years. In 2020, those of us that were saying, you know what, this is kind of weird, were instantly shut down and silenced. And these might have been people that were never paying attention before. And then one thing after another, all of the things that we've experienced over the last handful of years, the amount of truth telling scapegoats that are walking among us has reached such an amount that the truth can no longer be controlled. That's that's why things are getting out of control right now, honestly, as far as from those that seek to silence. But here's the thing, what we are seeing, okay, so we have been shamed in the past for, for example, when Obama took office, everyone was so happy. I lived in Austin. Everybody, when it was announced that he won, you could hear cheering go across the town. And I was happy for them that they had that moment. Um, but then immediately he came in, he signed the Monsanto Act. He banned healthy light bulbs and made us get these spiral ones full of mercury and like flickering, and changed the TV waves to digital, where we had to get a digital box. And and while I'm not a scientist really, not for physics anyway, and all of that, but I knew there was something weird going on with that. But should I try to talk about it to people, they would laugh at me, they would mock me. So it was a scary place to be because I felt like I can clearly see what's going on and they clearly cannot, and I care. And so I want to tell them, but when I do that, they punish me for it. So that is a weird place to be. And right now in our societal evolution, we are getting past that moment. We are now at the moment where the amount of truth tellers walking among us have reached such a number that they cannot control the illusion anymore. Now, going back to the flying monkeys, this is what's happening right now. Okay, all of these people, I would put a clip. I would put clips up to, to react to, and you can, see my thoughts on that. But it is so disturbing. These videos of these people cheering for the death of those that they don't agree with, just simply for talking about it. It is so disturbing that we cannot help but see it. We cannot help but see how incredibly unhealthy this is. And so the point I want to make is, for those of us, the scapegoat turned truth tellers, we are not manipulative people. There's probably a lot of us that are autistic, honestly. We deal with logic. We deal with wanting to actually solve a problem, because the thing is a narcissist and someone that's in a weird power paradigm, they're spinning illusions all for the sake of taking power from others. They are not given power based on merit. They have to take it, and they take it by sculpting their public image, by saying what you think you want to hear, by, all of the things. I don't need to go into it. We've seen it a lot, right? So it's all based on illusion. The shaming that they have done feels so gross to us because we have experienced it repeatedly as a form of manipulation. But now it's time for something else. Shaming others, it's really not shaming them in this situation. It's simply holding them accountable. But we have been so deeply trained to not hold people accountable for horrific behavior. And that's why it feels so unnatural for us. But shaming and canceling, this canceling that's happening right now, it is not based on illusion. That's the difference. It is real. It is truly horrific that people are out there teaching, working in hospitals, judges, and all of this, that could cheer to execute those that they don't agree with, is so horrendous that the feeling of shame, which I keep using that word because it's we don't want to be like what we've seen them be, but this is not the same. This is not based on illusion and manipulation. That is the difference. Okay, I think I've driven that point home. So I want to get to the point and then move on, and just end this video. It's just so icky. But here's the deal. So the flying monkeys, they are, sorry to all the flying monkeys watching this, but they are not standing in their own truth. They are going along with the group, okay? And they have learned to hurt other people as a sign of allegiance. The only reason they do what they do is because it's the false virtue signal flag, okay? They hurt other people to show everybody else, look what a good person I am. Like back in the day when someone holding a Diet Coke, sorry, Trump and Elon, but someone holding a Diet Coke and like a donut comes up and like publicly humiliate someone smoking a cigarette off on the side all by themselves, and maybe even knock it out of their hand all aggressively. I mean, we used to see this back in the 2000s. And then they would just smile to themselves, like, look what a good person I am. I just publicly humiliated and aggressively, attacked that person to show you what a good person I am. See, it's manipulation, and that's what we have been under for generations. We need to get out of that. Okay. And this is the only way to do it. The only way to do it is to tell the truth, to be honest, remove emotions and feelings, say that's screwed up. And I don't want you teaching children anymore. Like, okay, what needs to happen organically, not based on manipulation, but organically, is they need to learn that they are only going to get praise for real virtue now. And we need to show them what the real virtue is. The flying monkeys will eventually flip to actually choosing right action if we as a society begin to reward them for right action. And I don't mean some kind of 1984, we've decided this is right action and you will comply. That's what we were doing before. I'm talking about actually being a person that creates goodness in the world. Okay. We can only reward them for that now. This is a psychological problem. They have been trained this way, but it's not because they're inherently evil. It's because they have been taught that this is how they belong in society, is by doing those things. So yes, as gross as it feels to us, we absolutely have to shame them. We have to cancel them. We have to teach these people that are not strong enough to stand in their own ideals that that they will not be rewarded for championing for destruction and death. Period. So if you're not strong enough to do that, that's fine. But maybe get out of our way as we're doing it, because we have gotten to a psychologically sick place in society, and we absolutely have to change it. Think about, and you can look at it from the macro to the micro. Think about parasites in the body, or bacteria, or cancer. You can't just be like, oh, cancer, it's okay, we still love you. Like, what the hell? And also, by the way, here's your little nugget of truth. Coddling others is a sign of you being in your own ego and thinking you're better than them. If there is somebody that is doing something abhorrent and I feel like I have to coddle them, it's from a mental thought that I'm better than them and able to see better than them, and they need me to protect them from themselves. And I'm sorry, but that's ego driven. Goodness, I really think the world needs to be taken over by autistics for a little while, just a little while, where you can remove that emotional manipulation and actually be honest. Authenticity is what's gonna rule this world from now on. That is what we are deciding as a society. Authenticity. And authenticity doesn't mean somebody treats you badly and then you smile at them and tell them something to make them feel better. And why, and philosophically, from the soul perspective, why would, if you're allowing other people to hurt you, but you are making sure that you protect their feelings and don't, by not telling them the truth, then you're saying that their experience in the world is more important than your own. I mean, it's all upside down and backwards, and we've all been brainwashed into thinking this way because we've all been trained by the narcissists. So we're not doing that anymore. I'm so sorry. And listen, flying monkeys, you are so welcome to join us. Look, it is so much more fun and vibrant to live in a way that creates goodness in the world. It is a much higher level of experience than feeling victimized and angry and resentful all the time. Like, come on, you got to see the irony there. You got to see the irony in what y'all been choosing. And you can choose differently. You're still alive. You still have adventures to have and a story to write, and your book is not done being written. So I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but you might want to try lightening up a little bit. Could have a lot more fun with the amount of time you have left on this earth. Anyway, this has gotten longer than I meant for it to. I hope that you can hear my words and my opinion and not decide to and actually just hear it. maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. Whatever. I'm just a person and I'm talking and I'm sharing my ideas. But if you agree or if you disagree, leave it in the comments. If you disagree, I invite you to have a calm, meaningful discussion with me about it. Because if I'm wrong about something, I am not attached to my belief system. I am attached to the truth. And you can interact with me in that way. If you disagree with me, just let me know and let's have the discussion. You know? I'm not I don't know, I'm not attached, but also it would be really cool if we could remember how to have discussions, right? Okay. Bye.